gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Alrighty, good evening everyone and welcome to another night of On the Pole Racing here from Flicker Farm TV as we get ready here tonight for, well, this isn't right, so give me one quick moment as we get this switched over. There we go. Come on, switch over, alright. Yeah, switch over. There we go. Perfect. Alright, qualifying underway for the Gen 4 Cup cars here tonight. And we see Ryan Peters out on track, laying down his quick time at the moment. Now we got Ryan Peters out front with a 29.240. Right behind him, Mark Nelson. Chase Matsko now in that number 26 Dr. Pepper machine. He's going to be out there with a 29.218. Garrett Hill out there in a throwback scheme, ends up bringing it down through the dirt. With time right now to put himself in fourth with a 29.315. Still got a few drivers still trying to find the speed to get around the racetrack here. We see Jacob Wilson out there in the number 28 machine. He's currently in seventh. Graham Connolly up there in the sixth. Austin Hunt there in fifth. DJ Schellenberger there in the 17 car. He's going to be around the 9th position. Brock Morris out there gets quick time now with a 29.157. You see him in that number 97 down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Graham Connolly out there in that 71. Currently 7th position. Joseph Spillman down into the tires after his run with a 29.455 for Spillman. Now we see Connolly coming here through. He's currently 7th. See if he can get any better time here. I think Connolly's just trying to make some laps here. Get himself more comfortable in the car. We used to have Bryant, Polini, Mars, and Bray that have not qualified. So everybody shows up. Looks like we got a field of 16 drivers tonight, so that's pretty good. Pretty good amount of drivers here. We'd like to keep seeing it grow here at FMA. down there on the bottom side. About 10 seconds left of qualifying to go. So it does not look like Brian Fellini, Mars, or Bray will qualify here tonight. Now we get set for the grid now.
Good lap, Brock. Out, maybe.
Let's see here. The warm-up's taking place at this point in time. Let these drivers try to find a little bit more of the speed they need out of these cars. Matt Bryant there in the number 23 discount tire. Matt Mars out here in the Wheaties number 3. Brock out there with in that number 97 right now. Graham Connolly out there in that number 71, green and yellow machine. I see them coming through here. Pretty good looking time so far. I know that FFTv logo up there in the top right is wrong. It is the Gen 4 series. So these are Gen 4 cars, not the next gen. So but that is getting switched here as we speak. All right, getting ready to go here, I think. Yeah, we're under race conditions now. Getting ready for the start. Let's go ahead and get that starting grid up here. Okay, starting grid for tonight, starting on pole. It's going to be Brock Morris in at number 97. To his outside is going to be Chase Matsko in at number 26. Why'd that just disappear on me? We're going to do this tonight, aren't we? Give me a moment. I got to get it back up on my screen because otherwise I can't read it, but you guys can read it there on your screen. Damn it, I'm hitting the wrong things here. Really? Okay. Give me a moment here, folks. Caution lights are out. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. And we're not found again. Oh, man, this dang thing here tonight driving me up the wall as we're already here underway. Brock Morris out front, getting a great start. Here comes Chase Matsko up there on the high side as he gets a great run here, coming off a 2 here at Vegas tonight. Down through the backstretch here, down towards turn number 3. Trying to get things up and running, and it's just giving me a little bit of a pain. Okay, I got it up on my end. Now can I get it up on your end? Let's see here. No, still not found. Try to reload it here. Brock Morris is out front. Matsko there in second. They running through here, turns 3, 3, and 4. That's all looking good. Oh, now we did it. Bring that back. There we go. Now it's back. Hooray! There we got him coming down that back stretch. Brock way out front at the moment. Chase there second. 3 wide back here for a moment as they are fighting for positions here in the second and third rows. Now you see Ryan Peters there in the 5 down there on the bottom side. Austin Hunt up there on the top side. The 300 of Josh Terrett up there on the high side above Ryan Peters trying to battle it along as that is a throwback. And I know I seen the throwback there in the paint schemes if I remember looking at it correct. Somewhere here I thought, oh boy. I remember seeing it. I don't remember where I saw it. looking good out there. Everybody's battling side by side. There comes Mark Nelson up there in the 86. He's getting up there into the bumper of the 28 of Jacob Wilson. Everybody getting kind of spread out here through the pack. There, that 5 up Brian Peters, followed by Mark Nelson down there on the inside. There's the 157 of Nick Reese. We're on board with him down here through the corner. Heading out onto the front stretch across the stripe down here. Heading into corner number 1. Pitt Matsko trying to find that speed, trying to get up there to Brock. Austin Hunt sitting third now in that number 15. Josh Terrett there in fourth. Jacob Wilson there in fifth. And he looks to the bottom side there, coming through 3 and 4. Looking to see if we can get to the inside there of Josh Terrett as they head on down here in the corner number 1. Always cool seeing the paint jobs that these guys come up with and run each week. Caution is out on the speedway. Matt Bryant in the number 23. See if we can check to see what happened here to Bryant. Did he get help? Is that what we're looking at here? Well, we'll see here. And it comes down here in the corner. You'll see the, is that number 17 down there on the inside of DJ Schellenberger. They end up making contact, fighting for the same piece of real estate there on the racetrack. Around the 23 goes. Spillman goes and gets through the top side. There comes the 3 of Matt Mars getting through. Great job there by Bryant to locking it down. Didn't hit nothing else. So you should still be okay. Not much damage here on that machine from what I can tell. But that will bring out caution number 1. Here at lap number 8. Drivers coming to pit road. These cars can sometimes be a handful for some people, but I'll tell you what, I took a test drive out in this car earlier in the session. I had the privilege of going out there and taking the FFTv machine out for a spin. And honestly, I was surprised at how well it handled around Vegas. I was greatly surprised. It seemed to be a great car and track combination. A little bumpy around the bottom side of the racetrack, so that could come into factor a little bit down on the bottom side as these drivers get throughout the race. You might see them bumps come into play. But then there's a few others that they like running up there close to that outside yellow wall. I'm not one that likes that. I like running down along the bottom side a little bit more. DJ Schellenberger on pit road. Coming back out now. Graham Connolly coming off pit road. Matt Bryant up there in 13th. Jacob Wilson in that number 28 machine having a good run so far. He's up 5 positions, currently sitting there in 3rd. And a little far back, got that 157 also on the inside lane. He's also up 5 positions from where he started. Bobby Watts and the 37 up there in that Ninja Turtles machine. He's up 7 spots. 6 spots. These drivers get set to go back. Green flag racing here as they go through turn number 2. Graham Connolly out of Melbourne, Australia. Pace cars down. We are going green flag racing once again here. And going to be lap 11 of the 75 to complete here at Vegas tonight. Down that front straightaway, Brock getting another great restart. Jacob Wilson there second. Mark Nelson here back in fourth. As Wilson jumps up there in the second spot in front of Chase Matsko. You got Mark Nelson right there on the bumper of Chase as they come down the back stretch, down heading into corner number 3. Side by side at Ironman number 26 up there to the high side. You got that Apple machine of Mark Nelson down there to the inside. Coming here off corner number 4. Whoa, they get loose as we see the 26 of Chase Matsko and the 157 of Nick Reese up there hitting that outside wall. Really hung it out there. Ended up getting loose coming there off the corner as they now work here off of turn number 4. Heading down there towards the back stretch. I'm sorry, turn number 3. They were heading out of 2. As you see Nelson out of Pierre, South Dakota. Ryan Peters back here. And that Kellogg's number 5. Now he's sitting there in 8th. Down 5 positions from where he started. Jacob Wilson, what a night for him as he's already up here in the 2nd position. Finding something that's finally working for him on that car. Maybe he got it adjusted enough as they work down the back stretch as he's working there in that Chevy Impala. I believe it's a Chevy Impala. Could be wrong. As we head down here off of turn number 4, head back out onto the front stretch here to make it lap number 14. 13 laps complete here in the FFTv Gen 4 Cup Series here tonight. And we do have that updated there in the scoreboard, so I had to roll through off the corner here. Mark Nelson here in 5th. Bobby Watson 6th. Austin Hunn there in 7th. Ryan Peters back here in 8th. As everybody's doing a great job rolling down through here. Jamie Bray here in 9th. Joseph Spillman there in 10th. Matt Mars in 11th. Graham Connolly there 12th as they keep on rolling through here. Looking good so far. As they come down that back stretch, Jacob Wilson out there in 2nd out of South Boston, Virginia. And see Matsko get back up there. And look at that 157 just hanging out down there on the bottom side. Really trying to get as much as he can out of that machine. Then you got Bobby Watts there in the 37 right there in front of Mark Nelson. As Nelson's falling back a little bit, Bobby Watts is up 7 positions. Our biggest mover right now of the race as he's up there in the 5th. Nick Reese there in 4th right now. Up 6 spots as he's there gaining on Chase Matsko. Chase Matsko all over the bumper of Jacob Wilson. Got to hang on to it. Nick's got to be careful, though, that he doesn't follow in the same tracks as Chase. As he did that once, and that's how he ended up finding that outside wall quite hard. They're coming out of turn number 2 as they work down, or what's that for? Either turn 3 or turn 2 or turn 4. I forget which one it was now. As they head on down the back stretch here into corner number 3. Here on lap number 17. Great racing going on so far. As you see that 157 trying to get to the bottom side of Chase Matsko. You got Jacob Wilson there in 2nd. Bobby Watts just kind of biding his time back here in that 37 machine in that Ford Fusion. Austin Hunn up there in 6th. Mark Nelson there in 7th. As he's getting past there by Austin Hunt on the high side. Now he's going to try to make a run back on it down there on the bottom side. Not quite getting the run he needs as he comes off the corner. Probably going to have to add a little bit of scrape on the wall for Austin Hunt as he comes out of 4 down here across into turn number 1. And we see the next battle through the back here is Spillman and Josh. As they go 3 wide, putting that 3 of Matt Mars possibly on the outside. Out of Vevey, Indiana, is Joseph Spillman as he works down here in the corner number 3. Working up on the outside there of Josh Tarrant. Josh Terrett now gets there, run on the inside. Here goes Matt Mars. Now he's going to try to make it 3 wide, but no. Jamie Bray's going to close the door on him down there on the inside. And now he's going to have to try to chase it back down. I think got Josh Terrett getting around him. On the outside there as they work here off of turn number 2. On board with Josh out of Mooresville, North Carolina. And you can kind of just look at the way them cars kind of sidestep a little bit coming through the corners. So you got to be real careful and don't sidestep too much. There you see Joseph Spillman and Graham Connolly battling together there as Graham Connolly's down on the bottom side. Somebody kind of was asking him if he was running a John Deere car, but that is one of the Australian teams, I believe, out of Australia is the color scheme of that car. They head on down through here off of turn number 3 and 4. Chase Matsko sitting there in 3rd. Jacob Wilson, a lot of speed out here tonight as he's sitting there 2nd. But look at this pack here. That's pack racing back here. Through off of turn number 2 they go onto the backstretch. 3 wide in places here. 2 wide now as Josh goes down there to the bottom side. Nick Reese there in 8th. Up there in that 157. He's falling back a little bit now as Mark Nelson jumps down there to the inside. Bringing along with him Matt Mars in that number 3. Jamie Gray just kind of watching all this unfold out the windshield. As they head on down through the front stretch there, you see the 300 of Josh Terrett down there on the inside. He's getting right up there to the bumper of Bobby Watts. As Watts battles on the bottom side, you can see there Matt Mars getting up into the outside wall coming through turn 1. Down here through Josh Terrett down there on the bottom underneath Bobby Watts now. Bobby Watts falls back a position. And as you see, Josh Terrett moves on up. Bringing that Dodge up through the field. Well, hang on to it there, Bobby. You don't want to kind of lose it at that point. You've got Mark Nelson there to your inside. Matt Mars there in the number 3. He's trying to bring it up through the field. Nothing's changed up front. It's still Brock Morris out front as your race leader here. With Jacob Wilson here in 2nd, Chase Matsko 3rd, Austin Hahn there 4th, Ryan Peters 5th. And then we get into everybody swapping positions here. We got Josh Terrett back here in 6th, Mark Nelson in 7th. Bobby Watts back here in 8th, battling here side by side with Matt Mars. Trying to figure out which one of those 2 guys are going to hold on to the position here coming across the line. Very close there between Matt Mars and, oh no! Matt Mars up into the outside wall. Here comes Graham Connolly now to the bottom side there of Bobby Watts as he comes down the backstretch. Side by side, Jamie Bray just watching again. All this unfolding there in front of him. And you got Chase Matsko now down there on the bottom. He's going to come in for a pit stop here at lap number 26. He's going to try to get ahead of everybody there on pit strategy if he can. Austin Hahn there in 3rd now. Josh Terrett up to 4th. Jacob Wilson, he's up here in 2nd, just running away with it at the moment there for 2nd place. And Brock, he's just pretty much all by himself out here in the front. And it's got a good, looks to be almost 3-second gap back here to Jacob Wilson. Austin Hunt back here in 3rd. And then you get into the pack of Josh Terrett, Ryan Peters, Mark Nelson, all battling here. As you see down there on the bottom side, Mark Nelson in that 86 Apple machine. Here comes now to the inside, Ryan Peters, if he can get there. Not quite there that time, but he's going to try again, I'm sure, here in a little bit there as he gets a little lower in the corner. Try to get that run off the corner. And now we've got Brock Morris coming to pit lane, along with Jacob Wilson. Schellenberger on pit road, Bobby Watts, Jamie Bray as well. Chase Matsko back out on track. Nick Reese also ended up coming in. He's now back out on track. Austin Hunt is your leader at the moment in that 15 as they come around here cycling through green flag pit stops. As they head on through off of the corner. Ryan Peters here in 3rd. Matt Mars. Mark Nelson jumps down to pit lane now. See if anybody else follows them. See, does not look like we have any other takers at the moment. Pete Pellini not in the grid tonight. Did not grid up. As they head on down through the back stretch here, you see Ryan Peters now up to third. Josh Terrett there in second. Austin Hun there in front. Going to take it another lap around. As you see, Matt Mars, Graham Connolly. Oh, man. Lap number 30 of 75 is what we got on the board. Matt Mars there in fifth. Matt Bryant there in sixth. Joseph Spillman there seventh. Austin Hun out in front with Joseph Terrett there in second. Ryan Peters third. See if we got anybody takers on pit road this time. Does not look like it. Graham Connolly is now up there in the fourth. He's getting up there behind Ryan Peters. Matt Mars there in fifth. Everybody trying to chase them all down here as they work here off of turn number 4. Matt Bryant back here in sixth. Joseph Spillman there seventh. Austin Hun out there in front as it still rolls along. Now the thing of it is, the way this series at FMA we try to figure it out is fuel strategy. We don't want it to come down to fuel, so we make it to where they have to pit twice to make it to the end. So that's a matter of how these drivers can figure that out. They have to make 2 pit stops to make it to the end. There is no fuel saving. Fuel saving will not get you to the end with 1 stop. You have to make 2 stops if they have it set correctly here tonight. So we saw them make that 1 pit stop around lap 26 to 30 for most of the field. Now Austin Hahn, Josh Terrett, and them guys are still out there trying to hang it out. Graham Connolly now up to third as he got around Ryan Peters. Matt Mars down there on the inside. He's going to see if he can get around. Down there on the bottom side, Matt Bryant there in sixth. Brock sitting in eighth. Joseph Spillman had brought it to pit road for his first pit stop. Austin Hun down there on the bottom now. See if he brings it in. No, he will not. He's got to skate it around through 4. Josh Terrett there in second. Graham Connolly there third. Brian Peters there fourth. Matt Mars in fifth. Matt Bryant there sixth. Now here's the thing. Some of these drivers, I think, pitted back around lap 10 when that first caution come out. So they could be strategizing a little bit here, getting themselves out front. The question is, how is that going to impact them here later on in the race? Now we see, there comes Josh Terrett coming down in. Matt Mars coming in. Matt Bryant sliding it down on the pit road. So Ryan Peters leading them all down. Austin Hahn, Graham Connolly still out front leading the race. Now they come around here. Will they go and pit this time? Well, there's Brock. There's Austin Hahn. So Brock is in position, and he's going to unlap himself right now. So he's back on the lead lap as Graham Connolly has come to pit road. Austin Hahn now there behind Brock. As soon as Austin Hahn pits, Brock will be your leader again. As long as there's no caution. It looks like here comes Austin Hahn on the pit lane right now. Brock is out front. Yeah, he's going to retake that lead here once he gets back around here. Jacob Wilson coming around, Jamie Bray. Now all these guys are going to get their laps undone. Graham Connolly sitting there on pit road right at the moment. Nick Reese coming around. Austin Hahn there on pit road for himself. Coming into his pit stop. Here comes Brock Morris out of turn number 4, back around onto the front stretch. And he'll kind of resume that lead. Down here through off the corner, so Austin Hahn now falls back. Jamie Bray sitting there in third as he's up 10 spots. And that number 41, bringing with him Mark Nelson there in fourth. Chase Matsko fifth. Here comes Nick Reese back here in sixth. Austin Hahn there seventh. Ryan Peters eighth. Josh Terrett back there in ninth. Matt Mars in 10th. Joseph Spillman there 11th. He's looking there to go underneath Matt Mars here for that 11th position. Moving himself up there in the 10th. And Mars ends up in that outside wall once again, coming down that backstretch. Mark Nelson now getting around Jamie Bray, getting himself up there into the third position. Jacob Wilson there in second. Jamie Bray, a good job by him so far as he's got that Sharpie number 41 up there in the fourth position. Right there behind Mark Nelson as they work down here through off a turn to 3 and 4. Heading back out onto the front stretch. And I forgot to mention, I believe we're over halfway. Now we're heading down through off of turn number 2 there with Brock out front. Jamie Bray falling back a little bit. Here comes Chase Masco. He's in behind the lap machine of Bobby Watts. Now he heads on down here into the corner. He'll go to the bottom side. Bobby's going to hold that outside lane. I don't expect much of a fight here between these two. Oh, a little wiggle out of Bobby there as they come down through the front stretch. Chase down there on the inside. Down here in the corner number 1 and 2. You can see Chase down there on the inside. Great move so far. Go ahead, and as this race is progressing, we'll go ahead and throw up the track map since we are spaced out a little bit more, just so you guys kind of see where your driver may be at as we work on down through here off the corner. Now we got Mark Nelson up here in third. Jamie Bray there fourth. Chase Matsko fifth. Brian Peters down there on the inside in sixth position with Nick Reese there in seventh. Austin Hunn there in eighth. Josh Terrett there in ninth. Joseph Spillman in 10th. As they work on down the backstretch here into corner number 3 and 4. Brock's going to bring it around. And he's going to be out there in front, bringing it to 42. Lap number 42 on the board. 41 laps complete here as we got now Jacob Wilson up there on the high side. Mark Nelson down there on the inside as he's going to try to gain a little bit there. Jamie Bray hanging tough back here in fourth right now. Got Chase Matsko rolling up on him though. Oh, hang on to it, Chase. Coming there out of 2. Got a slight wiggle out of that machine. And right there behind him is that lap down machine of Bobby Watts. And the 5, Brian Peters trying to close in on Matsko. There you see now coming there off the corner, off the straightaway. You see that 157 of Nick Reese as they head down in the corner number 1. Connolly is out from what we're seeing. Pete Pellini, as we said, he didn't take the grid. And I am not seeing that 71 on track on the track map, so he is definitely out. We're watching here the battle. Whoa, hang on to it there, Schellenberger, as you come on down through there, getting in behind with the lap, now becoming a lap down there to Josh Terrett. Lap 44 on the board. Working on down through here. What a night of racing it has been so far for these guys. As they head on down out up turn number 4, back out here through the backstretch. There you see Austin Hunn sitting in about 7th position in that number 15. The next car behind him is that 300 of Josh Terrett. But in between them is that lap down machine of Bobby Watts. He's trying to run the high side. You see a few of them running that lower side. Now we're heading down here, lap number 47 on the board. Brock still out front. Middle of the backstretch right now for Brock. And Mark Nelson comes there through off of the corner. As they head on down in the corner number 3 and 4. Mark Nelson sitting there in second. Jacob Wilson there in third. Jamie Bray fourth. Brian Peters back there in fifth. These drivers doing what they can, trying to figure out what they need to do to try to get up there to battle Brock for the win, as Brock is just running away with it up front. Here comes Ryan Peters as he's trying to get up there to Jamie Bray to possibly battle for that 4th position. But down through. Brock Morris out front, Mark Nelson 2nd, Jacob Wilson there 3rd, Jamie Bray 4th, Ryan Peters in 5th right now, with Austin Hunt 6th, Chase Matsko 7th, Josh Tarrant in 8th, Matt Mars 9th, Joseph Spillman in 10th, and that is your top 10 as it stands right now, coming down here in through turns 1 and 2 here at lap number 49. As the 23, Matt Bryant is coming across the stripe right now as these drivers are battling down here down the backstretch. Jamie Bray falling back into 5th as Ryan Peters and Austin Hunt now get around him. That's going to drop Jamie Bray back into 6th as they head down here off the corner. I'm curious to see where Chase Matsko is, as Matsko's skating around there on the bottom side. 26 laps to go here from Las Vegas tonight. Who's going to get Lady Luck to help them here to victory lane tonight? Well, it looks like Lady Luck's on Brock Morris's side tonight as he's just running away with it. Great lap times out of that machine. But he's not the quickest on track at the moment. Mark Nelson laid down a little bit quicker lap. There they come there across the line. Mark Nelson still just a little bit quicker. Not sure, though, if it's enough. Austin Hundo quicker than both of them at the moment, as he's just laid down a 30.26 for Austin Hund coming across the line that last lap. 37 of Bobby Watts down on pit road. You got the 28 of Jacob Wilson on pit road as well. As they work down through the front stretch, Brock Morris coming around. So, round 2 of pit stops underway. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, because those cars that were able to hang on an extra 10 laps or so, are they going to try, as we see Chase Matsko coming in, Jamie Bray's come in, but the one I'm kind of curious about is Austin Hund in this number 3, in this 3rd spot. His pit lap, we can take a look at it here, his pit lap was lap 36. Now, Brock Morris pitted at lap 37. I guess there's not as much space between them as what I initially thought. But Austin Hunt's now back out there, so, I mean, there is, I guess, about 10 laps, almost 10 laps between them. So, that would be the 10 laps there at the beginning, where a couple of them may have pitted. So you're going to see Austin Hunt try to run as best he can, but he's going to probably have to pit with about 10 to go. Oh, he's going to bring it in this time as Brock Morris is still on pit road. Austin Hunt's going to try to pull it in here. He's not going to run that risk this time as he's there in 2nd. Matt Mars out there on track. He's going to take that 2nd spot. Matt Bryant there coming across in 4th right now. 21 laps to go. Josh Tarrant out there in front, working down through off the back stretch. There's a Joshua Tarrant coming into pit road now. Matt Bryant out there, up 14 spots from where he started, doing a great job. But that's not going to hang on too much, as I believe he's going to have to come in and pit as well. Here with 20 to go. Brock Morris back out on the speedway here in 2nd. Got the lap down machine of Schellenberger there in front of him. And he's trying to put some distance between him and Wilson. Wilson's done a great job tonight as well. Sitting up there in second spot at this point in time. Mark Nelson here in third. Well, fourth, rather. Austin Hunt back here fifth. As we said, these drivers doing what they can. Here as they come down here off the back, or onto the back stretch, or front stretch rather. There you see it. Bryant last pitted at lap 34. How long is he going to try to stretch it out? Now we got 17 laps to go. Everybody else has made their late race pit stops. They head on down through off the corner here into 3 and 4. Off of 4. At 300, Joshua Tarrant trying to get his lap back. And will do so. Matt Bryant just trying to hang on. Looks like he might come to pit road this time as he's down there on the apron. Brock Morris up there on the outside there coming through the backstretch. Matt Bryant on pit road this time. 16 laps to go as they head out of turn number 4. Heading out here. Going to become 15 laps to go as Brock brings it across the line once again. Mark Nelson up there in second as he got around Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson now trying to keep Austin Hunt back there behind him. Jacob Wilson's out of South Boston, Virginia. Now we said doing a pretty good run here tonight. Austin Hunt there fourth, Jamie Bray there fifth. Jacob Wilson there third. Mark Nelson second. Brock, your race leader. Somebody better check that car for some railroad tracks underneath it or something. He's just been on a set of rails all night long. He set the quick time in qualifying and hasn't looked back. Mark Nelson there in second. Austin Hunt there third. Hunt getting around Wilson. Down here off the corner, now across the stripe. Hunt's trying to chase down Nelson as Nelson comes down into corner number 1. Setting his sights on Morris, but I just don't know if there's enough there. He's going to have to really try to push. He was a little quicker there that last lap. But the question is that burning the stuff up trying to catch him? Because the other question is, once you catch him, can you pass him? 13 laps to go, now 12 laps to go. They come across the line. Mark Nelson looking to see if he can get up there and battle Brock for the lead, but is struggling getting up there towards the front. Austin Hunt there in third, Jacob Wilson there fourth. As they come there off the corner, now you see Austin Hunt there third, Jacob Wilson there fourth, Jamie Bray fifth. Off the corner. Great job here by these drivers. We're on board once again with Mark Nelson here off of turn number 3 and 4. Brock Morris up there in front, leading the way. Here we're on board with Austin Hunt as he comes there out of 4 in that Valvoline sponsor machine. Kind of a throwback from when I remember seeing Mark Martin drive that car. One time it was a 6 and another time it was a number 10. Similar paint schemes on the two of them. Great job here tonight as these drivers come down off of turn number 2. Jacob Wilson there in 4th. Jamie Bray's falling back here to 5th now. Everybody jumping through. 10 to go. Does Mark Nelson have enough time? That last time, Austin Hunt was a little bit quicker than the two leaders. They're running almost really, really close on lap time, so they're not really gaining a whole lot on one another. Now, Nelson is slowly. Austin Hunt, he's got about a 2-second gap between him and the two guys up here in front. Brock Morris, he's got about a half a second lead over top of Nelson. As Nelson has lost a little bit coming there off of 2. And has lost a little bit of ground now through 3 and 4 as well. So Brock getting out there to the front once again. Mark Nelson trying to gain a little bit back here through the front stretch. Down here in the corner number 1. He's there sitting. He's not really catching on Morris the way he needs to, but Austin Hunt, he's slowly, and I mean very slowly, making ground on Nelson. Now, he's brought it down to a 1.5 seconds between him and Hunt, or him and Nelson, sorry. 7 laps to go. They head down here into corner number 1 for another time. Lap traffic may go and pose a little bit of an interesting factor here as laps are winding down. I'm seeing some lap traffic in the near future of Mark Brock, as you see him there in turn number 3 and 4, as Brock brings it down into 3. They're hanging up there on the top side. Now they're bringing it down there to the low side. That is up there. That's the 3 of Matt Mars and the 157 of Nick Reese. They got him coming off the corner. Mark Nelson finally able to get something there as he finally cooled off the tires enough to make another run here. Brought that gap down to about 3/10 of a second. Now down to a 1/4 second. They work here through off of the corner. Brock up there to the high side. Oh, and oh no, that's not going to help you there, Mark, if you get into that outside wall like that again. That dropped them back a little bit. Now he's going to try to have to get that momentum back up there. Laps are winding down here, 5 to go, but look out, here comes Austin Hunt as well. He's making a great run here at the end. Who's it going to be? Got to really hang these cars out here now if you really want to try to beat one of the leaders. Mark Nelson there in second, right there behind Morris, as we're now down to 4 to go. Down into corner number 1. Down to the inside looks Mark Nelson as he's got Brock up there to his outside. Trying to keep him down there. Brock holds him down. Coming there off the corner. Coming up on lap traffic. Everybody's all bundled up there. You got Austin Hunt now there in the mix as well. Austin Hunt there up on the high side there, working through off of turn number 4. Going to get the run off the corner. They're going to try to split. Brock Morris don't know which lane to go for as he's now stuck in the middle. They're 3 wide coming down here into corner number 1. Brock there in the middle of the pack. Now as he dropped back into second, Nelson getting up there to the lead. Hunt there up top. What a run there from Nelson. Austin Hunt also a great run there towards the end of this race. 3 laps to go. As Austin Hunt and Brock Morris are battling down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, coming there off of 4. Austin Hunt up there in the second. Wonder if Morris just kind of burnt the stuff off of that machine. Now we see Austin Hunt. He's got a little bit fresher tires than what Nelson does. If we look at the pit laps. Hunt has a lap fresher tires than what Nelson does. 2 laps to go. Will Hunt be able to battle it out here? He is there, but what type of run can he make? Last lap, final lap. Hunt down to the inside down here into corner number 1. Hunt making a run here at Nelson on the inside through 1 and 2. Nelson up there on the outside lane as they come here off of turn number 2. Down that back straightaway, drag racing as it is. Side by side, Nelson trying to hold him off down here into corner number 3. Hunt's going to get the edge down here through turn 3 and 4. Can he hold that as they come out of 4? He gets up there in front of Mark Nelson. He will hold it. And it's going to be Austin Hunt for the victory here tonight. What a last few laps here tonight. Great racing there in the closing laps of the FFTv Cup Series here tonight from Las Vegas. I'm sure a lot of people thought Brock was going to walk away with it tonight, but ended up losing it there the last laps. Wow, Mark Nelson and Austin Hunt to get around him, and then Austin Hunt with a great run, bringing that Ford Taurus up there in the victory lane tonight. Man, oh man, what a run there by Austin. Great job. All right, here we go. We're going to try to go and get with the leaders now. We're going to get with Brock, if we can. I don't see Brock. We'll get with Mark. Good evening, Mark. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing well. Man, what a race there at the end.
Yeah, it was. I made some mistakes in the closing laps there, and Austin caught both of us, so I I wish the race was one lap shorter. And but oh well. I'm happy for Austin. At least it was a good little race there, but I knew that when I saw him closing on the white flag lap that it was going to be a tall order keeping him behind me, because he pitted a lap behind me, so he had a little bit fresher tire, and I was definitely pushing it there in the end.
I say you both were really pushing it there in the last, I don't know, about 3 laps trying to get up there to Brock.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how these cars work. There's a finesse to every car. There's a way to drive it properly, and I just feel like I'm inconsistent from lap to lap. Like sometimes I miss the line, and sometimes I hit it, and I'm probably just lucky to be in second place.
Well, I was going to say, there was a few laps there you tangled with the outside wall a little bit.
Yeah, if you just are a little bit too lazy coming off the corner and aren't trying to keep it off the wall, it'll pull you right in. And the problem is that the rear end of the car is always so yawed that what happens is you hit the wall with the rear of the car, and then it pulls the front of the car into the wall. And the only thing you can do is come out of the gas completely so that you can get off the wall and continue.
It's you definitely see it whenever you guys are cornering, how that rear end kind of slides out a little bit.
Yeah, if you're driving them right, I think you're kind of driving them a little bit with the rear end, because they're going so fast. You want to do that a little bit to get the car pointed a little quicker, because otherwise you are putting a lot of strain on the front right.
Because I mean, if you look at most of you guys whenever you're going through the corner, it looks like your back tires are tracking about a half a lane up, a half a tire up from where your front tires are.
Yeah, they are. Like I said, it's the way that the horsepower and the aerodynamics seem to balance it out. That's just, I don't know. I'm not a physicist, but that's just what happens.
Yeah, definitely was a great run there for you tonight, and didn't get the victory, but you got P2, so still should help you out in the points when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's all good. I like to get better at cars I'm not familiar with, so looks like I got a little bit of work to do, but I seem to find pace over the course of these races. At the beginning of the race, I'm always kind of like not really sure what I'm doing, but then like halfway through the race, I start pulling back up on people, and I'm really not sure what I'm doing different, but I'll take it.
Oh, it could be, too, that you're just getting more comfortable with the car at a certain track, too.
I'm just screwing up less.
That, too. So, I mean, you got sponsors, shout-outs you want to thank here tonight?
Nothing in particular. Just, thanks to everybody that is supporting the two of us, and that's really about it. I don't have anything else.
All righty. Well, congrats on second place tonight, and we'll wish you luck going forward.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, that was Mark Nelson, our second place, and I do think we can catch up with Brock now. Brock, you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not much. It seems like somebody took your rails away from you there at the end.
Yeah, I was experimenting with some different lines. That second run was not good, and so I was just trying to figure out what Mark was doing. And yeah, then Austin came out of nowhere. Like I had no idea like that he was coming up, but yeah, it was a little disappointing, but I mean, it gives me hope for future races. And I worked really hard on my oval stuff because that's not really what I do. I'm mainly a road driver, so I was happy with the performance I had.
I mean, you came out here firing all cylinders. You looked really good out there, but then as the late race run went on, it's almost like somebody stole your rails.
Yeah, it felt like tire saving's always been my biggest challenge. So just trying to keep it under me because I feel like the short run speed is there. Like it showed in qualifying, it showed on the restarts and everything. But as the run goes on, that's where I could use some improvement, and especially because I mainly, if I do race an oval car, it's the next gen, which is a completely different world from these. So I'm just trying to figure that out.
I don't think you can compare that next gen car to anything else.
No, it's pretty unique, but
it's in a world of all its own.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just happy I ran as well as I did, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Indy next week.
Alrighty, well, congrats on third place. You definitely put on a show tonight. Just unfortunately couldn't finish it out here at the end. You got shout-outs you want to give here tonight?
Yeah, I'll shout out all the Revved Up Racing guys that was with me tonight. Jacob, Nick, they were hanging out. And big shout out to Corn Dog. Big Corn Dog. I love corn dogs. So I'm about to go eat 2 of them, in fact. So looking forward to it.
Got to follow what you have on the hood of your car then.
Oh, yeah, it's a mission statement. Every time I run that, I got to eat 2 corn dogs.
Alrighty. Well, congrats on third place, and we'll see you next week as we continue on with the Gen 4 season.
All right, thank you.
All right, I with Brock there, our third place finish. Now we'll get with Austin Hunt. Austin, here in Victory Lane, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad.
I know you took them leaders a little bit off guard a little bit. They don't know where you quite came from.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to catch him. I don't know what happened there at the end, but I was staying pretty neck and neck with him, and then like the last 4 or 5 laps, I just started catching up to him like it was nothing. I don't know what the deal was.
I don't know. Maybe you saved your tires a little better. I don't know.
I don't know. I felt like I was driving the wheels off of it trying to catch him that whole last fuel run, but I guess not.
Well, they might have been driving just a little bit harder.
I don't know. Maybe when Mark started catching up with Brock, they both started driving a little bit harder, and that's what did it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, because you and Mark ended up catching Brock about the same time, and the 3 of you got caught up there. And I think the lap traffic might have played a role in that too. You had to kind of check up for lap traffic a little bit.
Yeah, they did one time, and then we got 3 wide, and I don't know. It was a fun finish there.
Well, it definitely was exciting here in the booth to watch, and hopefully all the viewers enjoyed it as well. It's was really fun to watch. So, you got shout-outs you want to give here tonight for helping you get on to Victory Lane?
Well, the wife for putting up with me doing this when I want to.
Well, that's always fun, right?
That it is.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Austin, and we'll see how well you do going forward in the Gen 4 season. Hopefully you maybe get a couple more wins under your belt here, as this should carry a little bit of momentum for you.
Yeah, I've been going for a little while, but I'm going to try and make a couple more of them.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night. Enjoy that victory.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right, that was Austin Hunt, our winner here tonight. Great job here. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast here as we enjoy bringing it to you on the pole here from FFTv. We're going to be signing off now. Hopefully you will catch us tomorrow night for some more iRacing as we take on the Knoxville Speedway for the 358 Modifieds tomorrow night. And then Continue watching over at Coast to Coast Racing Network to watch the Pro Late Models, where yours truly will hopefully be on track. So, everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching.